us with a huge unreasonable debt at ECG. ECG. You were board chairman. You were board chairman. You know how much debt you left. You yourself have admitted it on the floor during debates about how bad the situation at ECG was when you assumed leadership there as board chairman, and efforts that you also tried to make to address that situation. At the time you were leaving office, you hadn't fixed it. The debts are still lying there. Who's going to pay for those debts? Who is going to pay for those debts? You stop them in 2024. You stop PURC from adjusting tariffs because you are afraid of its implications on you for elections. The records are there. You stop them. He is not denying it. You stop them from adjusting tariffs in 2024 because you were afraid of the implications on your electoral fortunes if they adjusted tariffs. So the debt kept mounting. Because if you are producing at a very high cost, and then government is forced, ECG is supposed to take it at that high cost, and the ECG doesn't adjust the tariff to reflect the cost at which they are taking the commodity, and yet they are supposed to sell it to consumers at a very low cost. Who is going to pay the differential between how much they are buying and how much they are selling it to consumers? That is normally done through gradual, tariff adjustments. And you stop them from adjusting the tariffs. So the debt just kept ballooning to very, very unreasonable levels. Billions and billions of Ghana cedis of debt at ECG. That has to be addressed. But for the engineering that we have done to make sure that lights never go off so that they can always afford diesel to run the power plants for us to have 24-hour electricity, it would have been very difficult. But even as you do that, you must work towards a sustainable arrangement. And one of it is that you must be realistic in terms of the adjustment of tariffs. In addition, you must deal with the inefficiencies and the corruption. The corruption. I'm told that at ECG, they've procured things that they need in the next 4 or 5 years. You procure for just a year, and then the next year you procure, and the next year you procure. Why do you go and procure things that you need for 5 years? Some of them, their lifespans don't even go up to 5 years. So they will get destroyed in the process, and that will be causing financial loss to the state. So we are fixing the corruption and the mess there. We are fixing the inefficiencies. We are cutting down on the wastage, and we are trying to make ECG very, very profitable, ECG and NEDCO. And go and see what is happening there. It is now working well. But it takes time to deal with the legacy debts. And Ghanaians need to support us to deal with those issues. At the same time, you must have a long-term strategy to drive down power production cost. So the president and government have decided to increase our gas production capacity. So a new gas processing plant is going to be constructed so that we can have additional gas to be able to power all the gas plants with power plants with gas, so that production costs will come down drastically and we can sell power much, much cheaper to both household consumers and for industrial use. In the meantime, government has also decided that we are going to look at the distribution challenges, because there's so much infrastructure challenge that is causing a lot of wastage in the distribution. So if you buy 10 megawatts of power as ECG from a power producer, because your infrastructure is inefficient, by the time it gets to the consumers, let's say 2% of it has been leaked through inefficiencies. So you need to fix the distribution infrastructure. So when you buy 100%, by the time it gets to the consumers, even if there is some waste, maybe some 0.something%, leakage and waste, then the full amount, close to the full quantity of what you have purchased actually gets to the consumers. Second thing is inefficiency in the collection of revenues. And so government has also decided that we are introducing private sector participation in the distribution and the collection of the electricity tariffs. And so when we do that, look, the global best practice is that utilities are able to recover 98% of their revenues. That's the global best practice. In Ghana, ECG was collecting only 85%. 85%. But the global best practice standards is 98%. So the difference between the 98% and 85% was actually loss occasioned in the distribution and the revenue collection. So we want to bring in private sector participation. Right, Honorable Speaker, I'm proud to say that so far, so excellent. The energy sector is doing very well, and electricity has remained on and powering growth. So far, so excellent. The economy is rebounding, and Ghana once again is gaining economic respectability globally. So far, so excellent. The Ghana city is gaining strength and stabilizing. So far, so excellent. Inflation has come down to single digit, and prices are coming down, and life is becoming affordable to the ordinary Ghanaian. So far, so excellent. We are paying our debts, and at the same time, we are not accumulating needless debts. So far, so excellent. We are spending on the right things, and within our means, we are spending, but spending wisely. So far, so excellent. Our schools are functioning well, and free HSS is well funded, and we have not experienced any disruption of the school year calendar in our constituencies during our recess. Let me repeat, our schools are functioning well, and free SHS is well funded, and we have not experienced any disruption of schools or school calendar in our constituencies. So far, so excellent. Mr. Speaker, the NHIA has paid a total of 2.84 billion Ghana cedis in claims to accredited healthcare providers across the country. This represents the most consistent payment trend since the scheme's inception. The NDC are the best implementers of social intervention schemes. As I address you, there are no arrears outstanding. Claim payments are now up to date, with reimbursements made monthly, a marked improvement from previous years when payments delayed for several months. This improvement has restored confidence among healthcare providers, stabilized service delivery, and enhanced the scheme's credibility across all regions. Additionally, the uncapping of the NHIL by His Excellency President John Dramani Mahama has released an additional 3.4 billion Ghana cedis to the NHIE, marking a historic fiscal breakthrough that secures sustainable funding for timely claims payment, expansion of coverage, and implementation of flagship reforms such as free primary health care and Mahama Cares. So far, so excellent. Mr. Speaker, the health insurance scheme is on track to reach an unprecedented 20 million active members by end of year 2025. So far, so excellent. Our hospitals and health facilities are being well funded, and Mr. Speaker, I can only say good things will happen to this country. Our metropolitan, municipal, and district assemblies are very well financially lubricated, with prompt transfers of 80% of the common fund allocations. Total disbursement for the first quarter of 2025 was 711,334,852 Ghana cedis and 56 pesos. That's the first quarter. Second quarter 2025 disbursement was also completed on 21st August 2025, and this was 1,318,484,908 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, these disbursements are boosting local economies as procurements which must be done at that level are being done to create local jobs and opportunities. So far, so excellent. Many progressive initiatives we approved in this House in the last meetings have been launched on course and are on course. Notably, the big push in road infrastructure is on course. So far, so excellent. Mr. Speaker, Info Analytics did some polls released on July 1st, 2025, and they revealed that 70% of Ghanaians believe the country is on the right track. 70% of Ghanaians believe the country is on the right track. So far, so excellent. As of September 2025, Global Info Analytics Survey found 58% believed the government was doing enough to fight against corruption, and 53% said corruption had improved. So far, so excellent. A similar report of Info Analytics in 2024 revealed that 65% of Ghanaians believe that the country was heading in a wrong direction. There is a clear turnaround in how Ghanaians perceive their country and their government now. We must stay the course in this direction, and the work of this meeting of Parliament must keep the pressure on our executive arm of government to keep delivering. In this regard, I want to assure Ghanaians that the overwhelming NDC majority will not treat our counterparts in the executive with kid gloves. We will continue to demand performance and delivery of promises made in our manifesto. Bipartisanship shall be our hallmark, so we will tolerate our minuscule minority and heed sound and genuine criticism. Mr. Speaker, this is a budget meeting. We will be receiving the 2026 budget statement in due course, but the signs of a very positive development are already clear. 95% of Ghanaians in a survey conducted by professional service firm PwC in July 2025 believe the country's macroeconomic performance in the first half of the year has met or exceeded expectations. 95% of Ghanaians believe that our macroeconomic performance, yes, our macroeconomic performance has met or exceeded expectations. Indeed, even members of the MPP cannot deny the fact that the indicators are looking very, very good. So far, so excellent.